Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Welcome to Daily with Doc and Becca. This program is for educational purposes only. The statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Testimonials are shared as individual experiences of the individual sharing their testimony. Results vary and may not be typical. We do not make any claims regarding health or income. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We are honored to have a founding father of the science of epigenetics guiding us with the best options to obtain or maintain optimal health, Dr. Joel Wallach. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another inspiring episode of Daily with Doc and Becca. My name is Becca Dukes. I'm a certified naturopathic practitioner, director of student services for the Institute of Holistic Health, and also a certified holistic health coach myself, community herbalist. Well, it is my honor, privilege, and passion to bring to you information that is empowering, allowing you to have more tools and knowledge in your toolbox to help you along this journey we call life and doing things in a more natural way. So if you were invited by somebody specific, we are a resource for an amazing community, a very large community, and that individual is your primary contact, okay? This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, nor is it meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any disease. But what you're going to find is that, the body is not chemical deficient, folks. It's nutrient deficient. And today, we're going to be going upstairs as we are talking about feed your brain, change your life, amino acids for neurotransmitter deficiencies, part 2. Well, this powerful continuation of the topic that's going to be transforming lives through functional, holistic, and faith-based healing, folks. We are honored to welcome back a truly remarkable guest, Yvonne Rea. She's a pioneer in natural health spiritual renewal. She's a functional medicine consultant. She is certified microcurrent therapist. She's also a certified holistic health coach, and she is the founder of For a Better You Too, where she helps individuals overcome chronic conditions and restore vitality through customized whole person wellness programs. So if you've ever struggled with mood imbalances, low energy, anxiety, or brain fog, you don't want to miss this episode and this part of this series. So Yvonne brings the practical insight on how amino acids can naturally restore neurotransmitter balance and radically shift your mental, emotional well-being, folks. So let's welcome back to Daily with Doc, Yvonne Rea. Hello, my friend. Thank you so much for being part of our programming and bringing something that, really is overlooked and not even known to so many when it comes to mental health. And that's the importance of specific amino acids. Welcome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so very much to have me. I love what you said in the beginning about, continuing to look for natural ways to help yourself. And that's how, I stumbled across these very specific amino acids for mood, cravings, and even substance abuse.
And that is just something it's like an epidemic right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of, the last 5 years now and what has happened in the past 5 years, or if it's continued nutritional deficiencies, which could be a little bit of both.
I would agree. I think it's a combination. Absolutely. And as our soils are depleted, we're just not getting the nutrients to, rebuild. Your brain is by weight, it's liver, it's proteins and fats. And how many of us are eating less of those and eating convenient foods, foods that are packaged, and foods that, there's a piece of food wrapped around a whole lot of other stuff that really does not serve our body, does not serve our brain health. And this information I'm going to share, and I started to share a couple weeks ago. This isn't new. They've been using it. It just, like many other things, seem to be squelched, hidden, poo-pooed. I am increasingly excited about the people around me that are finding improvement in this little tidbit. We've all had a level of improvement, and I really felt like I was at my best for what I was doing. And, just in search of, okay, I've got 7 credentials in nutrition, but I wasn't learning enough about those amino acids. And then I came across this information about these very specific amino acids for brain health. We're not talking about the amino acids like for muscle mass, or if you're a senior and you are dealing with muscle wasting. These are going to be a little bit different than that.
Well, Yvonne, I'm going to turn this over to you because you've got so much information to cover in this that if we don't get it, we're going to be on part 3, folks. So pay attention. Be ready to take notes. If you are here live with us, which, yes, we are a live Zoom. And if you're watching out on all of the different platforms and you'd like to join us sometime, we are here Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, unless it's a holiday, at zoom.dailywithdoc.com. That is ZOOM.dailywithdoc altogether.com. And it's 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, 1 to 2 Mountain, 2 to 3 Central, and 3 to 4 Eastern. So listen up, And if, like I started to say, if you're here live with us, make sure that you have that chat open, as we have both Marilyn and Phyllis that are going to be doing transcribing and putting it into the chat to help you with your note taking. And folks, again, get back to the person that shared this program with you. As Yvonne's going to be sharing, she's going to be sharing not just what these are, but some solutions that could be helpful in helping you on this journey we call life. So Yvonne, take it away.
Okay, am I sharing? There we go. Am I sharing my screen again?
Not yet. There, it's coming. Perfect.
Fantastic. So if you were with us 2 weeks ago, we went through a lot and didn't actually even get to the specifics. So I'm just going to say a very fast precursor. If you don't have a pen and pencil, you're going to want to do that. There's going to be one or two links that you can jump on and go take a little quiz yourself. I basically put together a quick quiz for you, and we're going to run through that. Maybe you can determine, do I have or could I use some more amino acids for better brain health? That's what this is all about today. So we did go through some of the precursors. Again, anytime that you start a new regime, medication, we're talking food choices, obviously here, through supplementation, but always check with your healthcare professional. And this here is definitely for education, and I am not prescribing anything. We are not doing that here. So amino acids, what do they do? They're a natural food source. They're broken down proteins. And when you have enough in the brain, they help stop cravings, improve mood. They're happier, healthier for your health. With this, we talked a little bit about if you get low in the brain, oftentimes you cannot take in enough of the amino acids because the body will actually try to take them first. So remember, your brain actually requires the lion's share of these nutrients. So that's why we're going to be talking about supplementation, and the supplementation is not long term. You're just looking to rebuild those neurotransmitters, to remove those cravings. Sometimes the moods that you are sensing, they are in fact chemical, but we rebuild those neurotransmitters. Those chemicals are now firing as they should. All right. So again, over time, you'll be relying on less or smaller amounts to achieve the same effect. And I'd like to ask one thing, Ruth Ellen. On my side, I keep getting all the pop-ups of people entering. Is there any way to stop that? Or
Yes, you
We
can.
don't see it on our side, so just ignore.
thank you. So again, we know that there's over 20 amino acids. 12 of them are considered essential and necessary for function, both brain and body. Many of them, people recognize the branch chain amino acids. We're not going to be talking about branch chain amino acids. We are talking specifically about the proteins that will help synthesize the chemical response of your neurotransmitters. And the very first one I'm going to hit upon that's free is sunlight. Sunlight literally is a natural antidepressant. It's also a hormone regulator. And remember, when we're talking about these neurotransmitters, these are literally hormones. The amino acids help the chemical, help make the hormone, and they come together. Oftentimes people think that the sunlight is for some sunshine and tanning. We may recognize that it promotes vitamin D. We may or may not know about the calcium mineral absorption of sunlight, as well as the impact on our bone strength, bone density, which When you do that, you're going to be boosting your immune system cells, because in the epiphysis, that's where the bone is making those red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. So be sure that that's happening for you. But look at this other side. The sun, as God designed it, we are electromagnetic beings. That means we need some sun and we need the goodness of what's in the soil. And that is, it increases your hormones. That's serotonin, which improves your mood, ups your motivation. You can take a look at this list. Increases your alertness, cell energy, increases your learning, also helps the body make melatonin. Who out there is taking a little bit of melatonin to help them sleep? How about you stop putting that in your body, get a little sunlight without chemicals of sunscreen, and we can talk about that at another program, but it will also help decrease. So it's going to help make melatonin so that you have a better sleep wake cycle. It's also going to help decrease that cortisol hit at night. If you're one of those folks that wake up in the middle of the night, some people call it insomnia. It's got several different names outside of maybe just getting up to pee. It could be that hormone cortisol is being increased. Well, the sunlight during the day will help decrease that cortisol. It's going to raise your endorphins. Your endorphins provide so much. We're going to talk about them, but let me just mention, not only are they the happy hormones, but these are also the hormones that decrease pain. So if you're in pain, get some sunlight. It's also going to increase nitric oxide, which is going to do a ton for the body, increasing your blood flow, the circulation, helping the ions balance in the body. Also very necessary for eye health. Take off those sunglasses sometimes. I know we're wearing sunglasses because, life's so cool, we got to wear shades. Not so much a truth. We recognize sunlight actually creates many of this stuff that I'm sitting here talking about. And ultimately, it's going to up that general sense of well-being. So last 2 weeks ago, we talked about these. There's 6 hormones, balancers that regulate mood, emotions, craving, and sleep. Snapshot this picture. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Here are 4, and oftentimes these are the 4 that may be playing a part in your false moods. The catecholamines, these are hormones like dopamine, neuroepinephrine, and norepinephrine. They're going to give you that sustained energy. All right. They can also help with motivation, drive, alertness. They've been, very well documented that if somebody has conditions neurologically like Parkinson's or others, dopamine, they're giving them a synthetic dopamine. Why not try a natural? Then you've got your serotonin, melatonin, again, that has sleep-wake cycle. GABA or cortisol. You heard me mention the increase of nighttime cortisol. The sunshine can help with that, and so can some amino acids. And then the endorphins. Again, those are those happy ones. They also help with our pain receptors. And GABA actually helps with pain receptors as well. How many have been given a pharmaceutical that has the name GABA in it to help with pain? Again, this could be something that you could replace. Always talk with your doctor. The other 2 key players of the 6, one is glutamine, and that plays a role in your blood sugar. And then the other is tryptophan, that helps with calm and sleep. And then this isn't really part of the first 6, but at some point, the lesser is called oxytocin. That is that bonding hormone, that bonding agent. Pro tip here, all of these must have the minerals. Remember, the minerals are the Uber drivers. These Uber drivers take vitamins, essential fats, and these amino acids and get them not just into the bloodstream. Please write that down. Getting things into the bloodstream is the first step. I'm on the highway. Now the body wants to take those into the tissues, the heart tissue, the lung tissue, the brain tissue. You have to have those minerals. The minerals do two things. They're the Uber drivers, and then on their way out, they take out the trash. So let's talk about, could amino acids be your missing link? Now I've created something. I'm going to go back real quick. I'm going to show you the long form, but I've created this little short form that we're going to take here today. So again, you're going to write some things down, maybe figure out where you are, and then how you can begin to help yourself or your family. So let me just show you this little, will this take me out to the link? Let's see. Nope, it's not going to take me. That's okay. There's a long form. We'll talk about that. Right here, though, these 6 chemicals will be and help balance brain health. I want you to circle any symptoms, problems, cravings, substances that you either take or feel once we get to them. All of these will be connected to a specific amino acid. And these amino acids, we're going to refer to them as your brain food, okay? They can assist in rebuilding. So I want you to think about this. How many of us were told that we have to take this particular substance for life? If we can get the rebuild of those neurotransmitters, not necessary. Okay, so we're going to be talking about actual rebuild. Remember I said earlier, you will actually start decreasing the amount that you're taking in anywhere as quickly as 3 months for a younger youth or child to maybe as long as, 24 months if maybe, let's say, somebody's receptors have been really damaged through long-term maybe substance abuse. Okay, so we have to first rebuild those receptors to actually receive what you're going to be putting in. So this actually will begin along with your key 90 essentials and vitamins and those minerals. But this is going to help empower you to take control of the body, the brain, the emotions. And many have what we call, or I would call, false moods. Just a reminder, some of the pioneers going way before me, Dr. Bloom, Dr. Julia Ross, Dr. Shelley Joe. I mean, these are folks that I've gotten my credentials from, and they actually work a little bit more specifically with substance abuse and recovery. All of this information is going to be just, it's going to be about mood, but my specialty would be more about the mood and the cravings. So if you do, in fact, need more, it's available to you. So now with your pencil and paper, we're going to start the first of the 6. Let's talk about, this is going to be your intro to the quiz. So what I want you to do is circle or write down the symptoms that you seem to be having, or maybe the substances that you are taking in. Some people haven't put that link together. And I'll just tell you a real quick one about me. One point in my life, early 2000s, my mother-in-law said to me, Yvonne, I think you have a food addiction. And I was incensed. What? What are you talking about? I do not. Well, when I went to go look up a food addiction, one thing came to mind, and that was my afternoon latte, my coffee, my favorite part of the day. I was a new mom. And, sometimes as a new mom, you can feel underappreciated. You're doing all of this, and these little ones, they're just taking, they're not yet giving back. So one thing that made me happy is if I could stop off and get me one of those little lattes. A favorite was just a vanilla with a little bit of cinnamon. And if I couldn't make a stop, I went so far as to actually make the coffee in the morning and then get a container thermos to hold the hot coffee, a thermos to hold the cold milk with a little bit of vanilla and sugar. And around the time between 1 and 3 o'clock, I would open up my back hatch, make my coffee, and then be on my merry way. What I didn't recognize was, if we take a look at this, I was looking and desiring and in need of energy. And by the second half of the day, I had lost all motivation, focus, drive, concentration. So while I may not have been struggling with some of these down here, this is what I was desiring. And again, the cravings, they're symptoms, they're signals. Our brain is in need, our body is in need. So what's it in need of? If we take a look at, I was never the one to crave chocolate, but what else is on this craving? And I really, well, that's not true. Let's see. My license plate used to say, life is too short, eat dessert first. So dopamine, my body was looking for some dopamine. I was not getting enough protein to satisfy the body to create the hormone dopamine, which then works on those neurotransmitters. So one of the amino acids for that brain food that we're talking about, it is a brain booster, and that is L-tyrosine. Woo woo. Still one of my favorites, but I don't need to take it often because I've changed my ways. With the L-tyrosine, this can help, reduce some of those symptoms that maybe you've just written down. And if you've written down something here, put it in the chat, or maybe just write, hey, tyrosine will be my go-to brain booster. All right. I want you to remember what can fuel you and your body. Now let's talk about serotonin, the positive mind in your life. So while dopamine might be that brain boost, that spark of energy in your life, serotonin, if you're looking for a better positive mindset, confidence, flexibility, maybe even better sleep, if you struggle with anxiety, worry, obsessive thoughts, anger, perfectionism, maybe even a little bit of OCD, anger, rage, take a look at what's here. And then let's look at, do you have some of these cravings? Again, I want to show you how these relate. Symptoms really are, they're our body telling us that it's in need. We've just never been taught. I remember being at the hospital in San Diego, the Naval Hospital there, and I worked at several naval hospitals. And, I remember somebody saying, well, what are your symptoms? Your symptoms are your body talking. What's your body saying to you? And I thought, oh, brother, never heard that before. It's true. If you have symptoms of any kind, it's your body beginning to show you how to move forward, correct this. I think we hear a lot of people say, it's like the warning light on your dashboard of your car. Don't just cover it up. Figure out what it is. So if you've got the cravings for sweet, starches, salty, if you are using any of these Prozac, Zoloft, and the like, maybe even looking or using things like tobacco, marijuana, ecstasy for a happier mood or some sleep. 5-HTP can actually offer the same thing. Again, we're talking about an amino acid or tryptophan. If you remember tryptophan, oftentimes we get that at Thanksgiving, and then everybody goes and sits in the recliner and kind of sets it back, D for dead, for the rest of the night, right? Maybe watch a game. It's calming and it helps us relax. So 5-HTP again offers and may help increase. It's your precursor for the body to make serotonin. And again, just increasing that positivity, increasing sleep. So hopefully you got some of that down. I'm going to move on to the next one. So let's just talk about this. There we go. If you have overwhelm, stressed out, burnt out, anxiety, panic attacks, you know, there's a neurotransmitter that when you add GABA into your life, it kind of, here's what it did for me. I felt my shoulders relax, and little beknownst to me at the time, it actually helped with some pain that I was having. So write down what you have, what symptoms either would you like to increase, or what symptoms are you dealing with? Overwhelmed, tight, stressed, again, burnt out, feeling anxious. Do you have cravings or substances associated with low GABA? And that would look like, here's one thing I had for a little while. I would wake up in the morning and I'd go to work, but I couldn't wait. It was in the morning. I couldn't wait till I was done with work.